had a question.
Thank you, Cahill. And just to thank our witnesses. In relation to the forum, Dr. Collins, if I could just ask you, I think you referred to a €30,000 budget or expenditure for last year. I'm wondering what is the budget, or do you have a budget for 2017?
178,000.
And what's the source of the funding? And obviously you need, your organisation need to be independent and be seen to be independent both of government and Irish Water. And, you know, would you see the need for a legally independent source of funding for your organisation? I think it was Ms O'Brien mentioned the question of using local authorities as contact bodies locally. And just wonder if you're aware that local authorities are prevented from dealing with questions of Irish Water from the public by instruction of Irish Water currently. The other questions I have are for Irish Water and Mr Grant. On the 12th of January, Mr Grant, you told us that the water metering programme would stop yesterday, the 31st of January. I'm just looking for confirmation that it has stopped and that your contractors have been instructed to stop installing meters as of yesterday. And in relation to public engagement, well, very clear, I'm coming from a situation where both my own experience and the experience of the vast majority of my constituents is that there's a complete lack of engagement and a culture of disengagement, in fact, by Irish Water with water users generally. And I'm wondering why, for instance, Irish Water doesn't have local offices where the public can engage with the company. Why they would at least have local officials who could the public could engage with. You know, why the public, when, for instance, bursts happen and there's a disruption to supply, why the public aren't notified, as, for instance, they would have been in the past by local authorities by way of radio advertisements, by the use of leaflet drops, or other means. Currently, the only engagement is by notification on a website. Other than that, their water users and householders are in the dark. And in relation to planned maintenance, again, other entities would notify water users or their customers, in the case, for instance, of the ESB, in advance. And I wonder why Irish Water wouldn't use something like this. I suppose finally, Mr Grant, I'm just wondering why Irish Water are cutting off supply to premises without notice. Why are they cutting off supply anyway? But secondly, why are they cutting off supply to premises without notice? Very recently in Clonmel, water users were left for between 9 hours and 2 days when supply was switched off without any notice. And it wasn't the first time. And indeed, the local service engineer said he had made an official complaint to Irish Water on behalf of people affected and on behalf of the County Council. So I'm just wondering, you know, why Irish Water wouldn't put in place contact local offices or local officials where water users could make contact directly with Irish Water in relation to all the issues arising. Maybe you might answer those questions.
Thank you, Deputy. I'm just really conscious of time, and I want to afford two other speakers an opportunity to come in. So if you could be as tight as possible, and it may be, it's up to you, it may be a situation where you might need to respond in writing to some of the questions posed. I don't know, you may or may not have the answers here now.
I think, Chairman, that would be helpful, and I will do that. I just want to make the point that our call centre handled 700,000 calls last year from the members of the public in connection with the work we do. One of the reason that people suffer shortage of supply or loss of supply is because 80% of all the interventions we make on the network at the moment are unplanned interventions. Those are failures. We have to get to a point in this country where our system is 80% planned and 20% unplanned.
And the question I'm asking is why Irish Water does not make available local offices or local officials where water users can contact Irish Water when these issues arise. Your call centre is not fit for purpose in my view, and that's the view of very many people I speak to and very many constituents who come to me. There is, in my view, little or no engagement with water users by Irish Water, and that's the question. I accept there's bursts, we all know that. In the past, local authorities would have radio ads, they would drop leaflets, they would engage with people who...
You made that point. I accept the point you made, and I accept also you asking the question.
I'd like an answer
Absolutely.
to that question.
I'm conscious of time.
That's not the question that Mr Grant is answering.
Chairman, can I simply, again, I will come back in detail because I think that would be better and more effective, but to say, of course, we do all the things we're talking about here. We do radio, we do radio communications, leaflet drops, all of those things in relation to boil water notices. There is one compelling reason why having an effective call centre connected with operations works really well in the medium and long term and in the short term when everybody plays their part, and that is that all of the information is captured, fed back into the system and used. We decide all our mains replacement programme on the basis of frequency of bursts. We decide on our interventions and our programmes of work based on precisely the data we collect through the call centre. It's a really, really effective way of doing it. It breaks down when some part of the chain doesn't work, and I absolutely accept that this is a work in progress. We have 10,000 calls last year from elected representatives alone, and I get a lot of very positive feedback on that, but I'm not complacent and I fully accept we have a way to go.
Well,
thank you.
Will Mr Grant first of all answer the other question I asked in relation to the metering programme? Has that stopped, and has he instructed their contractors?
In fairness, you asked that question, and
sorry, those contracts are finished. They're finished.
Those contracts are finished.
Over, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead.
I ask it, I'm sorry for delaying you, but I ask it because there were Irish Water contractors in a number of estates yesterday, and people contacted me. So there won't be in any estates from today.
Just to be clear, there will be maintenance works that will have to be carried out.
But there'll be no meters.
And just to make the point as well, we have, of course, rehabilitation contracts and so on going on all of the time out there. So, we're not installing meters right now.
Thank you. I think that's a straightforward answer. Senator Coffey, and thank you for waiting patiently.
No, thank you, Chairman. I want to acknowledge.
No, I don't want to be sorry, but I did ask a specific question. Irish Water are not entitled to discontinue and disconnect supplies. I want to know from Mr Grant why supplies were disconnected in Clonmel and Carrick-on-Shore in recent weeks, and done so without any notice whatever.
Deputy, that's one of the areas I said that I was referring to, and maybe that Mr Grant can come back in writing to, because that's in relation to a specific area.
Not entitled to cut off water?
I'm quite frankly, I'm not going there. I want to give him an opportunity to respond in writing to that particular specific question.
It's a very important question.
I'm sure it's a very important question to you and the people of Clonmel. I have no problem, and that's why I'm asking that he provides a full written reply to that specific question. And I genuinely want to go ahead in fairness.
I would have thought that there's a straight answer to that question, because it's my view that Irish Water are not legally entitled to disconnect.
Can I assist by simply saying that, to my knowledge, nobody has been disconnected any time recently in the domestic or non-domestic sector. In the non-domestic sector, for failure to pay, there is provision for cutting off supply, absolutely. And that happens from time to time, and it happened with the local authorities. It still happens. We are very slow to do it. And I can't refer and I can't reference any specific circumstance. It is a very... Domestic use are never cut off.
And an official complaint has been made by the County Council.
Deputy, please. Senator Coffey, thank you.
Chairman, I'll try and stay within the